Hey guys, this is Megan with my end of week 4 update. Week 4 didn't go quite the way I wanted. I'm sure a lot of people said that because of the holiday, but actually I was in a car accident. So I was put on like a concussion protocol and I couldn't lift. It could have been a lot worse than it was. I was hit from behind, so nobody was hurt bad, but I hit my head, so then I was on like a concussion thing and couldn't lift. So that kind of stunk. I will say that I could tell like a shift in my mental energy because at first I was like, that's it, like I can't lift for a whole week. I'll just stop the challenge and I'll try again next time. But then I was like, wait a second, like I can just keep up with my eating and my nutrition and then I won't lose anything. Like I'll just start again when the doctor says it's okay. So today was my first day back to lifting. So I feel like that was a huge step for me to just keep going and not go 4 steps backwards as I would in the past. So a couple weeks ago I had mentioned how I was like kind of exploring why I've always had issues with eating and under eating and then binge eating. And I think it kind of started when I was younger, which I've been exploring more. So I give you guys permission to laugh if you're watching this. And this is what I used to look like. That right there. I mean, look how adorable my brother is. And then look at me. So from the time I was born, this is, I don't know, like maybe age 2 or 3. From the time I was born, a little baby infant, my nickname was Meggie Moo Moo, like the cow. I'm sure they thought that was like a really cute, adorable nickname when I was a toddler, but I learned to hate that nickname as it followed me through all of my teenage years, my high school years. Even when I had a growth spurt and reached almost 6 foot, I was still Meggie Moo Moo. And I think somewhere that kind of stuck, and it was my sweet little grandpa that gave me that nickname, so I can't tell him how much I hated it and how much it still to this day probably affects me. But what I can do is stop it from happening to other family members. So I have a little niece who's kind of chunky also, and they've already started like giving her nicknames. So she's 2, and she should be wearing about 2T clothing. So everybody says you should be wearing this, but she's a little bit bigger. So they started calling her 4T and 5T, and I'm like, that's not a good nickname. Like this is why women especially develop these habits. So I've kind of nipped that in the bud, and I've also been really working on myself and realizing why I have these bad habits. And it's always going to be a process of beating the bad habits. So if anything from the challenge, I've taken that away, and I've learned to laugh at myself because like I said, go ahead and laugh at that picture. I'm not ashamed of it. And I continue to laugh at myself. Real quick before I go, I'll show you how much I laugh at myself. Most women are so particular about their wedding. These were the decorations at my wedding. It's me. These were hanging up at my wedding. So you have to laugh at yourself. My groom didn't know I was doing this. He thought he was getting like a serious wedding. And for you football lovers, I had like 30 more of these. So I think that's how I've like coped with any of my issues, is I've always just laughed at myself. So I think it's a good way to be. So as I said, didn't get much workout in because of the whole concussion thing, but I'm back on it. My nutrition has been great. Thank you guys as always for making this free, and I can't say enough good things about the first Phorm girls, especially Jenna and Ashley. They respond on Instagram, they respond on emails, which is just huge. So thank you, bye.